Here's your First Warn Weather forecast first, sponsored by Anderson Collision Center. Visit driveanderson.com.
It's another warm and humid day here in the state line as our temperatures have made their way into the 80s. Right now, many spots sitting in the low to mid 80s, 82 in Rockford, 84 in Rochelle, 80 degrees in Poplar Grove and 82 in Woodstock, but near 90 down in Sterling. We've only had a few isolated showers so far here this afternoon and evening, but gradually a little bit higher coverage will start to work its way in later into the evening off the activity down near the Quad Cities to our south and our southwest. That could bring some heavier rainfall our direction along with that increase in thunderstorm coverage. Does not look like we'll see much in the way of strong thunderstorms until we get into the early hours of tomorrow morning. I'll time out how long some of those thunderstorms will last into tomorrow and where our temperatures may rebound to afterwards. That's coming up in your most trusted forecast a little later.
2 men are in custody tonight following a months-long drug investigation, what county sheriff's deputies say they found during a home raid. Plus, a new senior apartment complex opens in Rochelle, what one lawmaker hopes this means for affordable housing across the state line. And it doesn't need to be December for organizers at a Rockford church to be in the spirit of giving. The Christmas in July event at Edge Community Fellowship.
Live from WTVO 17. This is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Wendell Edwards. Happy Friday, and we thank you for being here. Mimi is off tonight. Tonight at 5, Winnebago County Sheriff's deputies arrested 2 men after a multi-month-long drug investigation. Jericho Simmons and Cornelius Wells now face multiple drug charges. Authorities say they began investigating the suspects in May. On Thursday, deputies took Simmons into custody and found cocaine in his car, officials say. Now, this led to investigators to a home on North Avon Street. There, they say they found Wells inside that home, along with more than 3,000 grams of suspected cocaine, fentanyl, and heroin. Both men are in the Winnebago County Jail tonight. Illinois State Police arrest a Loves Park man they say owned child porn. 20-year-old Tyler Horton now faces several counts of possession of child pornography. On Thursday, State Police special agents searched Horton's home on Morelands Drive. Officials say they found digital evidence of child porn inside and arrested him. He is also in the Winnebago County Jail tonight. Eyewitness News is committed to supporting survivors of all forms of violence. We have a list of resources here in our community. Just go to our website, mystateline.com, and click on the State Line Strong tab. The summer showcase today featured the artwork and projects of students attending a unique summer camp. Around 50 State Line students participated in the Spark in the Park camp, allowing campers to work on activities exploring their creative artistic sides. At Nicholas Conservatory and Gardens, the kids were given the chance to show off all their hard work to their families and loved ones.
They get to see their own creations and they get to look forward to something. Just cognitively, I think as kids get older, they should have something that they can look forward to and feel proud of and feel inspired by. And so the arts does that for kids, and it specifically does it for mine.
The second 2-week camp begins Monday. Last month, the County Mental Health Board approved more than $200,000 to the Arts Council to keep Spark in the Park thriving. Today, a ribbon cutting was held for a new senior apartment complex in the State Line. 1, 2, 3, just a couple more. Oh, there you go. You got it. You got it. You're good. That was U.S. Representative Darren LaHood helping unveil the Willis Senior Lofts in Rochelle. The $21 million project provides 60 units to seniors earning no more than 60% of the area median income. Representative LaHood says he hopes this is just the start of more affordable housing in the state line.
Well, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for affordable housing, workforce housing. That's really what I think about this workforce housing, whether that's in Rockford, whether that's in Freeport, whether that's in Dixon, whether that's here in Rochelle. Creating those opportunities to have affordable housing so we can bring new workers in and give them that opportunity. That's the genesis behind this.
The Willis Senior Lofts are now available to rent. More than 30 units have already been occupied. The complex is expected to be full by September. Governor Pritzker met with some Texas Democratic lawmakers in Chicago today. Among the topics under discussion, President Trump's request that Texas lawmakers draw more GOP-leaning congressional districts in the Lone Star State. This comes as the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, has called a special legislative session to address the recent flooding there. But also on the agenda may be an attempt to redraw the Texas congressional map years ahead of when it was supposed to be withdrawn next.
This is far, far beyond the normal political shenanigans that happens on a day-to-day basis. This is extraordinary. And this is something that is so beyond what we have ever seen.
Last week, Governor Pritzker left the door open to changing Illinois' congressional maps in an effort to counterbalance what's happening down in Texas. Celebrations today to commemorate what would have been Emmett Till's 84th birthday. He was born on July 25th, 1941 in Chicago on the South Side. But he was visiting down in Mississippi when he was kidnapped, tortured, and drowned for allegedly offending a white woman. His death at just 14 years old sparked national outrage and fueled the civil rights movement. Senator Tammy Duckworth, right here in Illinois, and others paid tribute to him at the very same church where his funeral services were held.
We have to keep the story of Emmett Till alive. We have to keep the courage of maybe Till Mobley alive, of Robert's Temple, so that kids can come here every single week. They should be coming here on field trips. They should learn this history and be proud of this history, be proud of who we are.
This week, state lawmakers adopted a resolution to make July 5th Emmett Till Day in Illinois. Today, a Forest City church held a Christmas in July giveaway to help those in need. Edge Community Fellowship held that community giveaway earlier this afternoon. Volunteers gave out clean, gently used clothes, shoes, furniture, and more to community members, all with no charge. Organizers say the church is appreciative of all today's volunteers, but with this type of giveaway, they could always use more help.
We need volunteers. If you have a spirit to serve and to give and to help, aid, assist, and support, get in contact with me, get in contact with our church, and we will get you busy, because there's a lot to do. As the Bible say, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few.
This was the church's inaugural Christmas in July giveaway. Organizers hope to continue this every summer. Coming up, world leaders today pushing for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The call's coming as the U.S. pulls out of peace negotiations amid the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. And coming up tonight at 6, 2 state-line county fairs are wrapping up this weekend. What to know if you're looking to make a last-minute visit.
Our temperatures made their way into the 80s once again today. Another warm and humid day with spotty thunderstorm chances. I'll let you know of our chances and coverage of any storms into the night tonight and going into tomorrow. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Mimi Murphy, Wendell Edwards, Sports Director Scott Leber, and meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
New calls today for urgent action in Gaza, where the Hamas-run health ministry says more people have died from starvation. Families saying they have nothing to eat, and there's no end in sight to the war with Israel as ceasefire talks stalled again this week. Olivia Rubin reports from New York.
Today, demonstrations in Israel as protesters call on the Israeli government to end hunger in Gaza.
And I call what's going on in Gaza, genocide. For me, it was unbearable to admit it, to confess, to pronounce the word. But this is it. It's a genocide.
The Hamas-run health ministry saying 9 people have died of starvation there in just the past 24 hours alone, bringing the total since the war began to 122, 83 of them children. The International Committee of the Red Cross among the aid groups warning of mass starvation as the aid remains stalled. These heartbreaking images from inside a children's ward in a hospital show the suffering among children. Israel denying they're blocking aid, blaming Hamas for stalling or sabotaging deliveries. They say the UN is also responsible for a, quote, bottleneck of aid trucks just waiting to get into Gaza. Israel now saying they will coordinate airdrops of food and aid into Gaza from other countries in the coming days. President Trump today with a rare rebuke of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu when asked about it.
I speak to him, but I can't tell you what I spoke to him about. But it was sort of disappointing.
The United States has been unable to break through on a ceasefire deal. Trump today laying the blame squarely with Hamas, saying they've pulled out of negotiations. The U.S. and the Israeli delegations left in-person talks Thursday.
Hamas didn't really want to make a deal. I think they want to die, and it's very, very bad.
Leaders in Germany, the UK, and France today holding an emergency call on the situation, now releasing a joint statement calling for, quote, an immediate ceasefire and a release of all hostages. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, New York.
Disgraced former Congressman George Santos is now in prison. He reported today to start his 7-year sentence for fraud, identity theft, and money laundering. The charges got him ousted from Congress. He's at the Federal Correction Institution in Fairton, New Jersey. Santos, who served as Republican representative from New York for almost a whole term, pleaded guilty last summer to deceiving donors and stealing people's identities in order to fund his campaign. Santos, though, wrote on X, quote, I may be leaving the stage for now, but trust me, legends never truly exit, end quote. We could be seeing some light rain and storms as we look ahead. When we come back, Jordan lets us know what to expect for your weekend. His forecast is next.
Now, your First Warn weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
It's another warm and mild and humid day across the state line today as our temperatures have made their way into the low and mid 80s. Briefly, we tagged 87 in Rockford. We're now standing at 82 there, 85 in Dixon, 86 in Rochelle, 83 DeKalb, also 82 degrees out in Woodstock. Our weather watcher Terry in Genoa reporting a temperature of 84 degrees, a dew point of 76. Northeasterly wind, not all that strong, only 3 miles per hour. No measurable rain today, although that could change as we head here into the evening. There has been quite a bit of some measurable rain, especially just east of downtown Rockford. This almost stationary shower developed just east of downtown and pretty much lingered overhead for a little bit more than an hour before it is now finally starting to dissipate. In some spots, picked up nearly 1/2 inch of rain, or even a little bit higher than that by radar estimates and some rain gauges in the area. Now up to the northeast, this is starting to fizzle out a little bit. Not nearly as much rain showing up on the northeast side of Rockford. A Mercy Health SkyTrack camera there showing off a view over the Javon Bay Mercy Health Hospital. Here into the evening, aside from a few very isolated showers, we're likely going to stay fairly limited in our rain coverage until this next round of activity arrives from the west and the southwest. It's already producing some heavier rainfall rates down near and just to the west of the Quad Cities, and I expect a lot of that coverage to likely hug very close to the corridor along Interstate 88, which would primarily keep most of that down to the south of Rockford. Nonetheless, we'll still hold on to the potential for some scattered showers and some storms. Some of those may pose a risk for some heavier rainfall, especially with what we see ongoing down to the south and west. Here's a look with Futurecast, tending to keep most of that activity south of Rockford until we head late into the evening tonight. What we could see is these storms could produce outflow boundaries, which would kick up additional showers and maybe even a few storms out to the north. And that's what I think Futurecast is trying to showcase here. Nonetheless, coverage is not going to be widespread. We're not going to be seeing rain in every single location at any one time. Nonetheless, holding on to that scattered shower chance as we head through the late evening tonight. I think our coverage does increase a little bit down to the south as we head into the early hours of tomorrow morning as a warm front starts to lift through the region. That could continue to bring some spotty showers and storms, especially down to the south of Interstate 88 going into tomorrow afternoon. Could see some heavier rainfall within that pocket as well. Eventually, Saturday afternoon and evening, most of that activity will start to clear out, allowing our temperature to rebound back up into the low and mid 80s. As far as our rainfall totals go, there is a pretty good chance that a lot of us in the state line likely could pick up about 1/2 inch of rain or more. There are a few locations where we see some of those heavier rainfall rates come down that could pick up on the higher end of that threshold, possibly up near 1.5 inches of rainfall. Some locally heavier totals, even more than that may be possible, as we're seeing some of those heavier rainfall rates now down to the south and the southwest closer to the Quad Cities. Better chance for any flash flooding would be primarily south of Rockford. That's where that slight risk is in place from the Weather Prediction Center. Nonetheless, keeping an eye out for some of that flash flooding as we head here through the evening tonight and going into early tomorrow morning, as a lot of these storms will be very efficient to produce some very heavy rainfall, even if they don't develop much lightning. As we clear out going into tomorrow, we rebound to 84 degrees. Heat and humidity going to play a role once again Sunday into Monday. Temperature back near that 90-degree mark and could feel closer to the triple digits. We'll eventually get a cool down late next week as our temperatures return closer to the 80-degree mark.
Thank you, Jordan. Scott's up next with sports. The Cubs and White Sox set to go after each other again tonight. Can the White Sox pose more of a challenge to the Cubs this time than they did in May?
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
The Crosstown Classic in Chicago Part 2 picks up tonight. The White Sox and Cubs open a 3-game series at Wright Field. Cubs swept the White Sox in their first series, a 3-gamer in mid-May. But the Sox are much improved since then. They've won 6 of their last 10 games, and they will have Adrian Hauser going tonight against Shota Imanaga. Will Venable is encouraged by how the Sox have battled since the All-Star break. He just hopes they're not distracted by trade rumors.
It's a different week for players. At the same time, our focus is what we have to do to beat the Cubs today. And we know that every team across the league has situations where players are going to think what they think about their own personal situations. And it's my job just to make sure that we stay focused on what we have to do to go out and win baseball games.
Well, the Bears had company at training camp today. Fans were allowed to attend for the first time in Lake Forest. A nice crowd. Now, they always get the players a little bit fired up. DJ Moore spoke to the media, and he says he and Caleb Williams have been working together all summer to try and improve and become a better passing combination this season.
It all started in OTAs, and we built on it and on it and on it and on it. And we went on break and we talked about it. We looked at the playbook and different stuff like that. Then we got back and he was already ready to go because they came in a few days before us. And then when we came back, he was like, "Hey, we need to yada yada yada." And now, after practice, we run together. I'm like, dude, this is going to be like, we like hip to hip now, but we need to stay like this.
Well, the Packers had lots of eyes on their workout in Green Bay. A lot of fans are interested in how top draft pick Matthew Golden is coming along. The young receiver gives Matt LaFleur a lot of options in the offense with his speed.
He's doing some nice things. Certainly, he showcases his ability to catch a football. It's pretty impressive. I mean, he uses his hands, and he's an aggressive catcher of the ball. I still think there's a lot going on upstairs, and so once that calms down and he has a great grasp of what the expectations are, I think you'll see an even better version where he's able to play even faster.
That's sports. We'll be right back.
The isolated shower just east of downtown Rockford continues to dissipate, but could have dropped nearly half of an inch of rain in some spots already earlier this evening on the First Warn Interactive Radar. From Rockford Glass and More, additional scattered showers and thunderstorms will continue to be possible here into the evening. Better coverage arrives overnight into tomorrow morning. Some heavy rain possible within some of those strongest showers and storms, likely exiting the region by late tomorrow evening.
Thank you, Jordan. We'll see you again tonight at 6.